Hello, welcome to Quick Tip Monday, and today what I'm going to do is I am going to show you just some quick tips on applying distressed ink and a couple of quick tips on how to use it and how to create like a that type of image. So what we're going to do first is we are going to go around and we are going to put some, oops, that's not where that needs to go. So if your ink starts to dry out, and I know this one is getting a little bit dry, you can always put a little bit of water in there. I wouldn't put in a lot, do it that way. Get a little wet, and that's fine. So you always want to use a spot over here where you're going to blend your ink. This is water soluble, so it will come off very easily. That's why I'm using a placemat that you can get at any big box store. This has a smooth surface. It's not absorbing the ink. You can still do it on something that absorbs the ink as well too. It doesn't really matter. And you want to kind of start like this. And you're going to want to do circular motions around, the edges. Always remember that it's going to be darkest at the edges and lightest in the middle. You want to make sure you kind of keep that up as you do this. The one thing you also want to watch out for is you're going to get ink everywhere on here. So either if you be careful when you move it or don't move it at all like I am. I'm going to glue this down onto something, I'm sure. So I'm just going to continue to move it. But if you want to keep your back pristine, you want to just leave it in one spot because it will cause it to kind of get stuff on the back. And you'll see probably by the end I'll show you what it looks like. Actually, I could probably show you on this one what it looks like. That's probably not a good example. Forget that example. That's not a good example. But that's what we're going to do in the end of this. So, and see, now I wasn't paying attention because I was talking. It happens a lot. Now you can see the circles right there. They look pretty bad. We'll get rid of them, and I'm going to show you how to do that as well. So you're going to want to, let's see if I can do this. I'm going to do this standing up so I can do this a little bit better. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to go right on the edge and push out from there. What you're trying to do is if you keep applying next to it or on it, it's going to still maintain that circular shape because you're still applying ink to that area, and the area next to it just doesn't have as much, so it's going to always be darker. So if you do this kind of right up against the edge there, and that's okay. These lines are going to be okay because I'm going to blend them all in and we're going to get rid of them, and that it will look fine. It's going to look distressed. Depending on what you want, I just put water on here and kind of inked it up a little bit more, so that probably caused some of the issues there. But we'll get it. Trust me, this will all blendy, and you won't even notice it. Or even if you do, it'll look like it's supposed to be that way. So again, I want to get another circle because I did not do that. So again, I'm just going to push out from the edges because if you keep putting ink on the same spot, it will just make it darker. So I'll do this. That's the one thing about these. I mean, I guess there's no other really way to do it. But that is one of the drawbacks to using these. They do kind of sometimes, if you're not really paying attention to what you're doing, like talking on a video, you can cause these to make the circulars. So. And so I'm dabbing here, getting the excess ink off, and then you know what? I go back and I use this excess ink. It's okay to do that. It'll keep you won't be using as much ink from your pad, but you won't be wasting either just by putting it down on here. So I'm just going to kind of show you, I'm going to distress this whole piece of paper because I want to show you how to use a spray bottle. I'm going to show you first how you can do it with a brush first, and I'm going to show you in just two different pieces of paper the kind of looks you can get and the kind of ideas and stuff, so that way you can kind of see it. So I just want to darken up some areas here. So you can probably see back starting to get a little dirty. It's just gonna, you know, like I said, if you don't, and you know, make sure you tape it down or do something to keep it down. And then work on it. So I go in a circular motion. I press down on it too. And what I'm gonna do too, I'm just gonna ink all the edges up. Don't be afraid of the ink. And these come in other colors too. And I will pull out, I think I have a green one I can do too. I'll find another piece of paper, but I will show you that you can use other colors too. And the effects are kind of cool. So when you use a paintbrush, this is what it's going to look like. It's very precise. I wanted to leave the inside as a journaling area. I'm going to use this in my Nose So Spine journal. But yeah, so this is what you see here. This is if you use a spray bottle. You see all the little splotches? And that's just a little bit different. So I'm going to show you first. So what I do is I just take a little bit of water and I kind of do, just paint it in the area I want. I want to do like right there or something. And then it, as you can see, as it starts to dry a little bit, it's starting to, the ink's starting to bleed a little bit. It's going to push out from the inside. I can see right there, get pushed out to the inside. You can also use a spray bottle as well. And let me see. That's okay. It's going to give it a very speckled look. It is going to curl because it is a piece of paper. And that's what it does with water. So it's going to give it a very speckled look. It's going to look distressed and worn down. I am looking for another color I can use. Here we go. Let's do the in-between green. All right, so give me, I'm just going to grab some more paper, so I will be right back. I'm going to use this green. I think that'll be pretty. Oh, let me move this. And once I'm done with this, I will show you what, once I'm done with the green, that should be done setting and we can see what it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this down because I am not going to want the very easy cleanup. Stuff is great because it is water soluble, so. All right. I'm just going to do this on, I'm going to do this on a big piece of paper. Here we go. Move this a little bit. I don't know. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to blot it as well. This is actually a new ink. I've never tried this one, so let's give it a try-zy. Probably not a lot of stuff I have to, because it's new. And I'm already getting the what I'm going to do is just get a lot of ink on here because it's a fairly new. Okay. And notice I kind of trailed down there. There's probably going to be circles on this one because it is such a new ink and a new ink pad. The more you use these, the better they work. Oh, it's really not very centered, is it? Okay, yeah, that's going to bother me. Sorry. There we go. Boop. So these are times where I wish there was a bigger blotter that you could use. I mean, you can, there are other ways you can apply this ink too, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure if you really wanted to. And you know what, let's just do this for shits and giggles on this side. We'll just press down, press down, press down. Let's see what that does. What that will do is, I'm sure once we spray the water on it, it will give it a kind of a different sort of look, which is fine. And kind of, it's like I said, it's a new pad, a new ink. This doesn't feel as easily movable as the other ink is. But, I mean, that's okay. It's just that's where I'm struggling with it a little bit. And there's definitely a different feel. And it might be the foam too. This is a different one. There is definitely a difference. This feels like it's more porous. This is more, this feels more like a makeup brush. And this feels more like a foam you find like in between, like, you know, like in a mattress or something. So I hope that makes sense. Like, one seems like a little more spongier. This one feels a little more spongier. So that could be why I'm struggling a little bit too. Oh, and there we go. Got a big old circle there. So yeah, I'm really not, it might be the, and it just doesn't seem to want to move as much, and I know I'm not really taking anything off, but it doesn't want to move, like, the ink doesn't want to move as much as like the other ink did. The other ink seems like it was more movable. That makes sense. I don't know. So this is one of the first times I'm trying it in this type of fashion. So let's kind of see what happens. Let's see how those turn out. Those might look kind of cool. But anyways, so again, spray bottle. Let's see what happens here. This should do the same thing as the other inks, and it should kind of turn out, and you can see it's already starting to do that. So this is what our first one looks like. It's kind of nicely colored, discolored, and it kind of gives it more of a distressed look, like it's been through a little chemical bath there, or a little water bath. As you can see, it's all blendy. This looks more like it doesn't do like the pock marks like the other one does, or the individual drops. It looks like it more like just is kind of blendy. You can see some of them come in. Actually, you can see it better on my camera than I can see it in person. Go figure. So, and where's my paintbrush? So this might give it, help some of the circle looking spots. I'm hoping it will. So All right, so for Quick Tip Monday, obviously, when you're blending and you're using your blending tool, you know, dab down first and then apply it, kind of try to start off the paper a little bit and then do it in circular motions. If you do end up with a circle on your paper because you're talking on a video or what have you, best thing to do is to kind of try to go around the edges of it and brushing away from it. You don't want to keep reapplying right next to it or anything like that or on it at all, because you will continue to make that part of the circle darker with each application, so it won't actually go away. And again, when you want to try to distress it, or if you want to kind of go for that kind of distressed look with the water, you just spray it down, or you can use a paintbrush as I've showed you. This one is a spray, and this one is, I just use a paintbrush. So I have to say, this, you can kind of see it is sort of pulling apart the green a little bit, so it's not as noticeable. Those look cool. I think I'm going to do something with those. I like the way those came out. Kind of blurry. This blends it a little bit more. These show more distinct lines, I must say. So the twos that I did use, I'm not affiliated, I'm not anything. I just wanted to show you what I'm using are these two. So anyways, I hope that helps with your application and using the distressed inks a little bit. And like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day.